Welcome back to Sticky Notes, the unfiltered podcast for creative professionals where we ungatekeep the parts of our careers that we all go through but nobody talks about. I'm one of your co-hosts, Jack Chitty, with my handsome co-host, CJ Cooley. How you
Did
doing?
it, man? That was good. That was
right.
second time.
Second go. We're going to get, one day I'm going to get in one.
That was amazing, dude. Oh, this is really exciting. As you can see, we are not in our normal habitats, actually.
I am.
You are?
Yeah.
But I've actually come to join Jack in his studio today, and you can see...
We don't quite have the budget or the space that we do at CJ's Seaside Studio, but we made do. We've made do.
We've turned this room into what I would argue every time I've ever been here. I mean, I've slept in this room. I've slept in the studio.
Yeah.
Right here on the floor.
Yeah.
Didn't think I'd ever do a podcast in it, but I think we've done pretty well with what we've got.
But, you know, it's a small room. It's the spare bedroom and lots of wires over here and stuff. But, like, you know, it's about the conversation anyway. It's not about what it looks like.
No. I'm sat on a box.
Yeah.
So I've got no back.
I don't have a spare chair. That's how tight the budget is around here.
I did try to bring my chair.
Yeah.
But I couldn't get it in the car.
No, I was thinking it was ambitious. It was ambitious.
Wouldn't go in. So, yeah, really excited to be here doing this in person. We wanted to maybe do a little bit more whenever we had the chance, basically, to do an episode, is to like, have it in person as much as possible. But obviously, naturally, where we're a good sort of like 3 hours away from each other, we don't always get that opportunity.
Yeah, but you got into your car at what time this morning?
5 a.m.
5 a.m. to make the trip up.
Yeah.
And it still took you, what did it take you, about 4 hours?
Still took like 4 hours. Yeah, I had to stop halfway for a break.
Crikey.
But yeah. So I'm really excited to be here today, dude. We actually haven't even started our weeks. Usually we film these on a Friday as well. It's Monday. So I can't even tell you what my week's been like.
No, we don't know what it's been like. We don't know what's coming. So we're going to try and bash out a few episodes today whilst we have each other. So don't comment, why don't you wash your clothes, is because it's the same day.
That's a good point.
But today we're going to talk about, I think, a really important topic on the lips of everyone in our industry is finding clients. And I think I can speak from a position of ebbs and flows of like where you're getting loads and loads of leads when you're maybe drying up a little bit. But fundamentally, I think there are certain practices and good hygiene to put in place to attract the right people to your business and your services. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And this is a good spot for an ident.
Really good spot.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I suppose like there's different areas or time frames more like where people are needing to find clients. There's people who are just kind of entering the industry or maybe just going freelance for the first time. There's people who may be quite established, maybe a few years into their career. And then I suppose you would think that the more experienced 10 plus years designers may not have as many problems finding new clients, but I'm sure there are some. So there's like, I suppose like different approaches for different time frames or like positions in people's careers. So do you agree with that? And also, do you want to like pick one and we talk about one of them?
Absolutely. Yeah, because it's a massive question. Where do you find clients? But a lot of people have messaged me that question. I reckon that's probably the most asked question I've ever had doing this. So where do you find clients? I can't find my clients. But they always someone will explain to me like, I'm doing this right now. I'm at this stage. Like I've just begun, or I've been doing this a few years and I'm running out, or this thing's happening. So like it's not a one size fits all question. It's quite fluid, and it's quite fluid to different people. So I think we've got to start from the very beginning and maybe give some kind of advice on as many of the stages of your career as you possibly can to find clients. Because it's changed for us, dude. Like it's wobbled around a bit and it's been a bit different. There's days where
I've been speaking to a few people about it recently about how I think the short form design content bubble has kind of popped. At least it feels like. I think we're certainly a bit tired of the types of stuff that we were making back in like 2 years ago. I think that was the heyday of like short form content, and we were getting like, you know, significant views, and that would translate into a lot of leads. The quality of leads,
arguable,
but it definitely got a lot of eyeballs on us. So give us a little quick rundown as to how did you start finding your first clients when you quit your studio job?
Yeah. It was literally by people I knew in my small town. Like I live in a really small, insignificant town in the UK. There is nothing going on there. So, but I still thought I'd be able to do it like that. I don't know whether I was naive to it. I was definitely naive to it. And I leaned on people I knew. So I actually knew these two lads that had started their own business. It was a marketing business, digital marketing. Guys called Ollie and Owen. Really great. I actually went to school with one of them and met Owen through Ollie. And they were like doing some really great stuff. And I remember just like reaching out to them and being like, boys, like I've just quit my job too. I know you guys don't do the creative side so much. Like they're in the kind of the more structure and, sort of pay-per-click type part of marketing, of digital
Right.
marketing. So I was like, but like any gigs you got when it comes to anything on the creative side, making some of the creative ads, maybe if there is a company that you could potentially squeeze a little like, we can
brand
help do
project,
logo.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
can I get a gig that way? And they were really, really great. Like, they actually had like a bunch of work because they were kind of doing it themselves, where they were getting so much request. Like at the time, they were getting so many of their clients say like, "Can you do this for us? Can you do that for us?" And they were just saying yes. They were being smart in the very start of their career, which is like say yes to everything and figure out how to do it. I
Yeah.
was there figuring out how to do it. They'd get in touch with me and be like, "Dude, you can do this now." So they actually ended up like putting me on a retainer gig in the first few months of me
That's
doing it.
sick for
Really good, but like I just knew them. I just got lucky. I just knew two
Yeah.
lads that were somewhat in this game and just begged. Do you know what I mean? We're like, I'm gonna be free. Like, please let me know. And I'd put my services out there, and it was crap work. There's no doubt about that. And like those boys know that too. Like, it wasn't the work I wanted to do. Like, I was literally making crappy ads, dude. Like for some big stuff and some small stuff. Like, I didn't really care what it was, but like I was just inside of Illustrator or Photoshop, just making anything I could just to get by. And it gave me a retainer. It wasn't a huge retainer. Like, it wasn't. Didn't pay for everything. Like,
No.
but it was.
Definitely takes the pressure off though.
It took a little bit of pressure off. Like, okay, I got some work coming in every month. I just got to do all this kind of stuff. And I was also doing other things as well. Like, I was also doing like ads reports for them and stuff, and like, building little presentations for them so that they could present to their clients and things. Like, I'd do anything I could get, whilst them being like, I want to do visual identity. I want to work on brands. I want to do all that kind of stuff. But it started like that for me. And then my first proper client, like proper well paid. And yeah, even though like back then, it was like well paid. Even in today's standards of where I'm at, it was a really good paying gig. It was huge, and it went on for like a year. And I got that.
This was the
that
golf.
was,
Was this the
that
golf
was
one?
Caddy Gilmore's. Yeah, the golf is like a golf place, and I got
Yeah.
that gig because again, my partner's uncle needed me. Like, he worked there as like the manager of the place, and they were about to completely like rebrand it from Bristol Golf Centre to Bristol Golf Centre and Caddy Gilmore's, because they were building this like enormous like it's like 36 hole place instead of
Mini
like
golf,
two
right?
mini golf and
Yeah.
stuff. And then there was like all this other side. So he brought me in there. So like it was knowing people. It was just like I was flying by the seat of my pants. I had no idea how I was going to find clients. I just got maybe arguably lucky to like.
But the thing
know
is,
them.
I think with knowing people, and I think it's quite like a well trodden piece of advice of like, it's who you know, not what you know type thing. But and there'll be a bunch of people I imagine that listen to this that think, well, I don't know anyone. But you have to tell people. Like,
Yeah.
you may not know them now, but like you tell like, I don't know, your brother's sister's friend or whatever, and they know that, that I used to work with someone who's in the market of this, and it's just about building that spider web out as far as you can. So you have to start somewhere which is starting tight. Like, you might have, I don't know, told your partner about it, and then she was like her uncle.
Yeah, well,
and
I
then-
told everyone. I told like the
That's the
entire
thing.
family.
That's
dude.
the
Like,
bottom line, is
I was
tell
literally
everyone.
like, team, I've just quit my job, so
Yeah.
literally anything you can get me on, like I'll do it, and I'll
Yeah.
do anything. And I just got lucky that he worked at this really great place that like needed a lot of work doing. So it was a really great first big gig for myself. But like that didn't happen straight away. That was probably like 5 months into quitting my job. Maybe that
I
happened.
think that was
So
the first project I saw of yours.
the first project I
and
then
that might have
used
been
to
the one
make a
that-
video to
yeah.
then put out there to the world. Like, that was the first gig because I could take ownership of the whole thing, because I did do the whole thing all on my own. It was my gig.
Yeah.
It wasn't like with an agency. It wasn't through anything. It was just like my gig. So I had the opportunity to like show this now. I'll put this out online.
That's the thing I think that's really important as well, is that it's you start the foundation started. You started getting a couple of projects in, and that was through telling everyone this is what I do now. Probably showing some of the work that you did at the studio or before, and then you get to use. Then that becomes marketing material. So once you've got that first project, then you use that to then market to your next one,
yeah.
and like that's what you've just gone on to there. You made a video about that,
Yeah.
and that's important. Marketing and prospecting
Yeah.
is a necessary evil.
I did that though because I did that gig, which is awesome because I knew someone, but then like no one else knew me, so like that gig dried up, like because I wasn't doing any marketing. I was still relying on the old fashioned way of like, well, more people will just know I exist now, maybe because of this person or Darren, which is my partner's uncle. Like he'll tell someone that I've done this, and maybe like will
Yeah.
get me to. But like that gig was finishing up, and I was like, yeah, there's no one else. Like it's not this like build it and they will come. Like I had to market, but my marketing was genuine, like sending out cold emails, sending out cold DMs through a completely faceless Instagram account at that time. Like I had.
Did you do the little, were you like positioning as a studio, like a
Yeah,
bunch
yeah,
of
I
people?
was. Yeah,
I
I
used to
was
have
a
different
studio,
email
bro.
addresses that I would email from different accounts of different people to make us look bigger. But
Yeah. Like that's how I thought I was gonna do it. But like it just nothing was like I was spending a lot of my time
yeah.
emailing, cold DM, cold DM, cold
What,
DM.
what was your experience like with cold emails? Did you find it successful?
Not a single gig, dude. I didn't get a single
neither.
gig for
Me
months.
neither.
Months and months. Like I don't think I've ever got a single gig from cold emails or cold DMs, dude.
Same.
It just didn't work that way. And
Because
then,
it's like they are so cold. Like it's not.
Why
I mean,
would
like,
you?
obviously the email is, but like in terms of how warm the lead is, it's freezing. Like they don't even think that they want work, let alone want to work with you, let alone converting. Like they're so far up the funnel.
yeah.
So going straight in with them and being like, "Can I do something for you?" Like, I don't even need anything.
I tried to. My advice I got from someone was like, if you're going to do the cold email stuff or the cold DMing, like you've got to, you've got to find a way to like gain rapport with them straight away and like let them know like you really give a shit. It can't feel like a cold email.
No,
So,
it can't be copy and pasted.
no. So like I literally, this is the first time I actually even made videos. So at this point I hadn't made a video for social media, but I would film myself on my phone talking to whoever owned it. So I would find the owner
That's
of the
quite
company. That like someone I wanted to work with. Like one of the ones that come to my head straight away. It was a skate shop in Braunton. It's like nowhere near me really, but I'd go past it whenever I would go surfing. I saw this like really cool skate shop, and like it was already like it was starting to get a bit bigger and like kind of challenge some of the bigger stuff that was out there. And I sent them a video of me doing like, dude, I love what you're about. I'm a skateboarder. I'm like from up the road. Like I was like trying to gain as much rapport with this person as possible. Like, do I go past the shop all the time? I go surf, man. This is where I'm at. This is what I can do for you. Maybe if there's anything you can lean on me for, if you need anything design wise, graphic wise, like please reach out. Please, dude, like nothing. I still got nothing. And I was sending people like videos of me being like, I will do anything for you. I exist and I love what you're about, and I could help you here. And I can give value. They didn't care, dude.
The thing is with cold emails is it feels like you're being productive and being like proactive, but
Yeah.
it's kind of like busyness disguised as it a little bit.
Yep.
I mean, you can like hang your hat up on the day and be like, well, I sent out 400 cold emails. That's a good shift. But when you, as I said, like when you are speaking to people who don't even want work, like it's really tough. But if you put that energy, that effort into marketing to people who are warmer, which might mean making videos, might mean social media, like it might mean some of those things that I think are quite a big hurdle for a lot of people. But then this is where it kind of, I suppose I can sprinkle some of my own experience in, and I know that you're the same with this, is it got to a point where I had no choice. Like, I never wanted, you're the same, we're both like quite prescriptivist designers. Like, if I had it my way, I would like it just my work got me work. God. You just post a pretty picture and they're like, oh, it's so good.
The
Can I do it?
dream, man.
It'd be so
the dream.
sick. It'd be so sick. But it got to a point when it was May 2023, I want to say. Maybe 2. And I made 400 quid living in central London. And I was like, that, I was ripping through my savings. So then it was like, I remember one morning, this like question came to my head of like, how bad do I want this? Am I actually good enough and not enough people know about me? Or am I just bad at this and do I need to give up? And I was like, I'm not quite ready to accept that yet. So I'm like, well, back's against the wall. I need to make money. The last ditch attempt is what's doing well at the moment on social media. What am I engaging in? What am I consuming? Video content. This was like video content, kind of early doors of like short form video content almost, particularly in the design space. And then it was like, right, what do I like to watch? I like watching process videos of stuff. I watch like knives getting sharpened. I watch like someone cleaning an ancient axe or something. I don't know, like just random shit, like before and after. I was like, I'll just do that then. I remember the first video I made was, I don't have it anymore, but I made a poster to decorate mine and my wife's flat. And I just showed how I made it and then like made the video. And it, at the time, it was like crazy to me how, I think it maybe, I don't know, 2,000 views or something, but like I like blew my mind. And I think I genuinely got a lead off it. But that kind of, I think it kind of comes down to that question when you're in those early stages is how bad do you want this? And are you willing to get over yourself, be a bit cringe, maybe a bit embarrassing in front of your like in real life friends? Are you willing to do that to give yourself the best chance to make something of yourself? And that's the question I had to get to. And it was like last ditch, Hail Mary attempt.
Yeah.
Got nothing left. Just give it a go.
Dude, it was exactly the same for me. Like, I didn't want to make, like, I really didn't want to do that. I'm very lucky and blessed now that I do find joy in making them. Not all the time. I'd still much rather if you sat down drawing logos all day.
Yeah.
But like, I can find the joy in it. But at the time, so I did that caddy's job, man. Like, tried to make a video of it to get something. Like, got a little bit of traction. But it was like, that was the first thing I'd ever posted. It was like the first thing I'm sharing. So like, it was never going to change the game and change the world. I think there's a misconception with that, is that like, oh, you'll just get this one video,
There's
it'll
no
go viral
overnight
and it'll go back.
success,
It
like-
doesn't exist. Like, it takes like a lot of really, really crap videos before anyone knows who you are, before one person gives you a chance to work on their stuff. So I'd done that, and then I was still scrambling around like, God, I need clients really badly. So I leaned back on the boys from the digital marketing and said like, look, is there anyone else in the game that you maybe do something for, like of a bit of a bigger, meatier project? And they had a client for me. This is a nightmare as well. They had a client for me, and like luckily I kind of had caddies to like show off. I could just be like, look, this is what I'm about. This is what I do. I can do the same for you. But again, I still found that next guy through word of mouth, through guys that I'd already worked with in the past. But this is where the story turns, and then this is what pushes me into social media. So we didn't even start the gig. I met him at their offices for the first time, and within 15 minutes of being out of the room, it's like, this is like, he's hard work. Yeah,
Okay.
This guy just could tell. I just couldn't keep him on script, couldn't keep him on a conversation, dude. He's just bouncing around the room, just saying all this like outrageous stuff, and I'm like, oh, I can just tell there, like red flag after red flag, like this is going to be a hard
at that point
gig.
though, like,
I had no choice.
can't. Red flags.
I was
are
saying
like,
yes to that.
Come on, come all.
I was doing anything to be like, I'll figure it out. Like, I got nothing else on anyway, and I do not want to go back to work, man. I can't go back and look at everyone that I was like, see you later, guys. I'm off to go do my own thing, and then like what?
Tail
6
between
months
your
later,
legs.
like, couldn't figure it out. Like, I guess there's maybe a pride thing in there and an ego thing in there, but like I was adamant. I was like, I am not going back. I'm not looking at my partner saying I can't pay the rent this month. Like, I can't do that. Like, so I'm taking this gig. But the whole time I knew like he was going to be difficult. Like, obviously he was going to be impossible to please. He was going to be hard to get hold of. So I remember saying to him like, look, if we're going to do this gig, we need to start by this date, because if we don't start by this date, we're not going to get to where you're trying to go. I was like, what's the deadline? He's like, this is my deadline. I was like, right, we need to start by this date because I also go away on holiday at this moment here. So like, for that all to work out, we got to start by this date. And I had the strict rule right from the bat, because I'd heard the scary stories that 50% up front, 50% on completion, right? So I remember sending him, I was like, right, dude, got that day, sent him an invoice for 50% to lock it in. I said like, look, dude, here's the 50% to lock the gig in. Once that lands my end, start the work. And we're going to do this first thing first. And I don't even know what I think it was literally hilariously, like it would have, like I'd have done my discovery in that call with him on that day, which is like mad now. I'm just able to begin now. But I was like, basically, I'm not putting pencil to paper until that 50% lands. And 2-3 weeks went by and he still hadn't paid it. But was messaging me like, dude, like, how are we getting on? I'm like, you haven't paid the 50%, brother. So I haven't started. Like, and that's now we're like dangerously getting to the point where I'm not going to be able to do the gig. But I was still trying to find a way. And like, so this whole time I was like, I knew this was going to be a nightmare. Like, if it's already difficult to get the first payment, I'm probably never going to see second payment. Like,
and that's the thing, is like what the whole kind of principle of doing 50% up front, 50% at the end is so that you have negotiating power. Because if you give, like, for example, if you get towards the end of a project and you give them all the assets and then you're like, can I have the final payment? They're like, I've got all the stuff. What's my motivation? But you've given him the motivation to pay you, but he still isn't doing it.
Still isn't doing it. And then it goes on even further and further. So he then finally, I see a payment come through really late at night and he's like, oh, I'm so sorry about that. Like, I've got it all sorted now. And he's literally like, right, can we see what's happening next week then? I'm like, dude, I haven't put pencil to paper. You have just paid me. This is mad. And now I'm going to be going away in 2 weeks' time. So I then spent like 1 more week working on some stuff. And then pretty sure I got everything ready to show him just before I went away on holiday. And I couldn't get him on a call. I couldn't get him to do anything. So I was like, look, I'm going away on holiday now it was only for like a week. It was like 5 days. But like when I get back, you'll have to wait till then, dude. You know, and this is all like 100% his fault. Legitimately his fault. And whilst I was away, I was having a really bad beat anyway. Like I was at this point, like 6 months of freelancing, no clients. It's like second client after 6 months. You know what I mean, I've used money where I can find money just to pay the rent, and I'm doing whatever I can to get by. But like
Yeah.
I'm really struggling now. And what makes it even worse is then when I'm away. Oh no, so I must not have showed it to him. Yeah, so I definitely didn't show it to him because whilst I'm away, I start getting these crazy emails from him being like, like he emailed me going, when can I see the stuff? And I was like, dude, I told you
Yeah.
weeks ago that it's not going to happen till then. And then I told you the week before that I'm going to be going on holiday. And I'm telling you now, you're going to have to, and I told you just before I left for holiday, you're going to have to wait until you see this now because we couldn't get on a call for me to show you what I've done so far. But he sent me these crazy emails whilst I was away, even though I was on holiday, saying, I expect you to reply usually within an hour of me. If I send you an email, I expect to reply within an hour. Like, this was the kind of guy I was working with. I was like, sure, I work for myself. And this guy's talking to me like he owned me, and he'd only paid me 50% of the bill 3 weeks later. But like, it took you 3 weeks to pay me to start the gig, even though we had
And you
clear terms
expect
and
to reply
conditions.
in an hour.
But you expect to reply in an hour when I also did tell you I'm away on holiday. Nope, doesn't make any sense. So, I didn't want to work with this guy. I wanted nothing to do with this guy. And at this point, I hadn't delivered anything to him. So I sent that money back. I had to send him back the 50% because I wanted nothing to do with the gig. And I remember emailing back going, go fuck yourself, basically. I'm done.
Yeah.
Have the money back. But now I'm away on holiday, spending money, no clients anywhere, and I'm sending money back. I'm getting rid of it. So my business started on an absolute fail. On pure, like, you shouldn't be doing
It
this.
kind of like, I mean, that is a shitty experience, but it kind of does highlight another like difference of you and I. Like, I made sure that I had savings before I went because, well, I was actually made redundant, so it was a bit of a surprise, but I was building towards this moment anyway. Whereas you were just like, nope, it's now.
Yeah, I was an
just like,
idiot. I've always advised never do what I did. Never. Like people ask me all the time, like, when did you know to quit your job? I didn't. I was an idiot and I just went for it. But I'm very lucky I got through it and I'm where I am now. But that basically, then I got home, no money, dude, no way of getting clients at this point. The emails are not working. And I could see the same thing. That was when push came to shove. And I was like,
how bad do
this
you want
social media thing is such a bad idea. Like, maybe I'm going to have to get stuck in and get involved here. Maybe I'm going to have to make a video or two. Maybe I'm going to have to start sharing my work online because I'm seeing it, that bubble begin to happen. And I'm seeing other people do it. Yeah, how bad do you want this? How
And at
badly
that
do you
point,
want
like,
that?
what have you got to lose?
I had nothing to lose.
You know?
I'd sent all my money back, bro. And
Yeah.
At that point, it was literally like, it's this or you're going back to work. Which one do you want to do? So I was like, maybe making a video isn't that bad. Made a video, dude, and it sucked. Wasn't good. And then I made 2, 20, 30 more. And now I'll still make loads of videos and I get loads of clients from it. But it starts from like desperality, dude.
It does. That's exactly where it starts. And I think like if you're in that position, you've got to ask yourself how bad do you want it. And I think once you've got to that conclusion in your head, then you can use that to answer the other questions. Shall I get into social media? How am I going to market myself? And it might mean that you get down and dirty and a bit scrappy. Maybe you're like, I don't know, creating physical portfolio pieces and trying to get into offices and things like that. Whatever it means that, you know, you've got to do. It's that how bad you want it. So then, you know, roll forward a few years. Now we're kind of in this sort of like that middle territory that we spoke about earlier of like a few years in. Videos still do really well for you to bring in clients. Any other thoughts of like how to bring in clients at this stage?
It's building relationships. Well, I was literally about to ask you this question, so I'm going to spin it right back onto you.
Right.
So I just did like a 15-minute monologue about my bad start to this. So I want to. You okay?
Yeah.
Just chucking shit around. I kind of want to ask. I want to get your take on this a little bit here. So you start to get the rhythm, and you're like, okay, cool. Like I can create some type of a content now on social media, and then I get clients that way. Like they find me. What is it that you're posting? Like, what is it that you're doing? Because I think that's a really great question for people. It's like, how do you find clients? You could just answer, "I use social media, make videos."
Yeah,
that's a very blanket. Like that means nothing to me.
Yeah,
what is it that you're making that's making clients now go, "Oh, I want to work with Jack. Like that's the dude I want to work with."
Well, I think, I mean, again, like this is what's good about this podcast is that we are going to share things that we're going through now or like have gone through. And so up until recently, I would focus every video on this Venn diagram of clients and designers. And I was trying to serve both audiences with the same video. And it was somewhat effective. Like it might be like I mean, initially, I haven't done it in a couple of years now, but like it might be like a tip on some software disguised through a story of how I took one brand to this to that type of thing. So there'll be something for the client, there'll be something for the designer. Maybe it's a bit about process, which could do both. And so every video I was thinking about both of those eyeballs and what they would think when they watched it. And that was really effective for the last like 4 years. And it's kind of, I think I'm in a state of maturity. I've certainly found out more about myself as a designer and a creative, and I suppose a content creator as well. And I've started to, I don't think I align so much with that philosophy towards content anymore. So like literally over the weekend just now, I've been doing a lot of content strategy. And now I like see, again, this might not work. So this might be like the first evidence of another failure in my business, as we have so many of them. But now I see like 3 buckets, and it's 3 Ps: projects, process, and perspective. And I don't think I have really shared much opinion. And we've spoken about, just the microphone there. We have spoken on this podcast, I think, but also loads of times, just you and I, about how I've always kind of kept a lot of my personality back, a lot of my opinions. And I'm a very opinionated person in real life.
Yeah, you actually are.
I've just always been nervous of upsetting people or sticking in one camp and then changing my mind and then being like a hypocrite. I've always been like quite conscious of that. And now I feel like for the few years under my belt, I have enough of a credential to have an opinion on something. And I'm going to start being a bit more vocal about opinions in that perspective piece. So like one of those might be like, design education is bullshit or whatever, or like color theory is bollocks or whatever that is. And it's what's so funny about that is, it's a bit of a tangent to the client situation, but what's kind of funny about that is that this is what I've been doing for my clients for 4 years, is you have to have a point of view to connect to a specific audience.
Yeah,
and then I'm like, I've been so
true.
like vanilla and fence city for the last like 4 years. And it's just, now it's about time. Like, why haven't I like made my own tribe or like connected to the right people? So that's a perspective thing. So basically, anyway, I've started doing some content strategy now, and I feel much more clear on what each piece will do. So rather than trying to do everything with each piece of content, which had got to a point of bottleneck where I don't have the time anymore to make a video of the quality that I wanted and the frequency that I wanted. So then I just started like, like now these days it's like posting maybe once a week if I'm lucky. And it's just, back in the day when we were scrappy, it was 3-4 a week.
Hey, I don't know how I did it, dude. I want that.
I want that
boy's blood back again, because I used to just smash
the
it.
youth.
Dude, it get to 3 p.m. I'd do a load of work. It get to 3 p.m. I'd be like,
bash out a video.
I'll get a video out now and get it out by 6.
Yeah.
And I would do it.
Yeah.
And then that video would get millions of views.
And I want a bit of that. So I think that is like a part of the challenge of now being a few years in. And again, all of these things connect to each other. There's skill gap, there's imposter, there's perfectionism, there's all of this stuff that comes in so many different facets of our jobs. And so these videos have become more and more important in our own minds, I think.
Yeah.
Of like, they have to do a certain thing. They have to hit 500,000 views. They have to get this many comments, this many leads off the back of it. And it creates this like real high pressure bottleneck. And so that's when I'm trying to do everything with one video. So that video becomes, it has to speak to both of these audiences.
Yeah.
It has to be of a certain length, a certain quality, a certain rhythm, a certain story. And it just kind of got so pressurized that now I'm like, well, now I'm going to do bits of here and different pieces of content that address different things. And into those kind of content pillars. So that's what I'm going to try and do now. And I think I just got to a point of maturity and awareness that I want to have a bit more of a handle on it. And I think content got just really hard. And I want to take that pressure off.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of in this inflection point now in my career where I've used social media in the way that I did it. And it kind of almost like just blind speed running it. Like I knew exactly the formula of videos that had done well before. I knew exactly how to make those. I knew exactly what seconds to cut that at, what music, what BPM. I knew exactly how to make these videos, that I just stopped considering the video point.
Yeah.
It's like I stopped like thinking not about whether I could, it's whether I should do it.
Yeah.
And that was the thing that I just wasn't even thinking about. And so it's got to a point now where I don't know, like I feel like I've arrived at a different position now, and I'm like, well, okay, I'm going to start doing something that feels more aligned to who I am and what I'm about now. So anyway, went around the houses around that, but I think getting clients at like a few years in is slightly different. I think like now we've built like a foundation through numerous client projects, so we have the work to back up what we're talking about. We're now I think we're now able to be a bit more aligned. I mean, I think you've always been really good about being the stuff you've been putting out has been really truly aligned to you, whereas mine has been quite intentionally vague or ambiguous. And I think now I'm excited that I can, with the work that I have behind me and the platforms that we've built, I'm able to share a bit more about me. So I'm kind of at this inflection point, this 3 or 4 years in. Do you have any thoughts on this period of time?
Absolutely. Like I can only really echo what you've said, and it's awesome that you've got here now. And that just goes to show, doesn't it? I think this is I really truly love about this podcast, man, is how honest we are being about all of this stuff. Like,
yeah,
this is not to try and blow our own trumpet too much, but like to share this kind of shit for free. Like, you just get to listen to this, us telling you this sort of stuff. Like, I don't know that exists so much. Like, how honest we're being, how open we're being. Like, you'd usually have to buy this in a course somewhere along the line. Someone telling this kind of shit. And I love how honest, like, even Jack's being there about, like, even now after years of building the studio, dude, and over 400,000 followers on Instagram, hundreds of thousands of followers now on YouTube. Like, technically, again, people listening and watching, I'm like, this guy just stinks. Just clients every day. He just posts something against clients. I said, it's not like that. This is work. It takes work constantly.
Yeah.
It takes strategy constantly. Like, you sat down and spent your weekend going, right, let's cut this shit. How can I get back on track again?
Do you know what, actually, sorry to interrupt you, but there's also like another point as to this portion of my career is that now I'm starting to get into a point where back in the like 3 or 4 years ago, it was like any client, anytime, any deliverable, I don't care. Now it's like, I want a specific type of client. I want a specific type of deliverable. I want to do this type of thing. I want to push the studio in this direction. It's way more targeted. And so you do end up saying no to a lot of stuff. Whereas before, you might be only saying no because of time.
Yes.
Now it's like, this doesn't align with the direction. So I think that's a nice ad. So like, so like now I'm at that point now where I'm like shifting the studio's focus into where I want to be in 5-10 years, rather than before it was just like,
take it all.
I take it all. I need to pay rent, whatever. Like, that's the kind of things.
That's where shit changes. Like, and that's the difference. Like, so it might feel like in the moment, I'm so glad you got to that. So it might feel like at the moment that it's like, ooh, leads are a bit tough now, and actually, but it's not. It's you're being pickier with those leads. Like, you could say yes to a lot of this work, but you are at a stage of the career now where you don't have to say yes to the work.
It really tests your minerals.
It does.
As well.
It's saying no to guaranteed cash in the bank because you could take the gig on, but you're like,
because once you take it on, it's like it can be 8-12 weeks of work, and it's like, what happens if in those 8-12 weeks the dream client comes around? And sometimes you've got to hold your bottle. Sometimes, you do just need to pay bills. Yeah. And there's nothing, that's still an admirable thing to do. Like, especially in this world, you've got to, balance those things. But it does test your bottle there. Absolutely. Like, this doesn't align with the studio. Gonna have to pass on it.
So that's just so there you go. You've illustrated it perfectly, dude. Stage 1 of being a designer, going out into the world and being like, I want to get clients. It is scrappy. You will do whatever it takes to take on literally any gig that you possibly can find. But there is a day something changes then, and that's kind of stage 2, which is now it's about not just finding clients, it's finding the right clients. Like, there is a difference. Yes. People ask, how do you find clients? And then it's, how do I find clients that I love to work with? That's a whole other beast. That's when you do start having to sit down and go, what am I posting and does it now? What am I sharing? How am I marketing my ideas, my studio, who I am? How is it actually attracting who I want to attract? Because I can post a video now and it can do well in terms of those metrics and those things. But like, if it doesn't get the people through that I'm looking for anymore, I see that now as not successful. That feels weird. That's an odd thing to start feeling. Because like, you look at, like, again, from the metrics point of view, like, you absolutely caned it, got all these eyeballs, got all these likes and engagement, all that lovely shit. Then, okay, I did get a bunch of emails, man. I got a bunch of people that want to work with me. Nothing in there that I think that if I do the gig and commit to 12 weeks of my life to, and then I create marketing or a video or a case study around that, that's going to attract the next people that I actually want. So like, yes, it's technically work, but then if I do that and it's not really a project that I'm that genuinely excited about, it's not the vision that I hoped for my project or for my studio to have. And, it's not on the roster of who I wanted, but ultimately I'm going to have to spend 12 weeks on it. So I'm then going to have to use it to market myself later. It's only going to attract, again, another project like that.
Yeah.
Another thing like that. So when it comes to finding clients, if you're in that stage 2 bit now where you're like, okay, I am finding stuff. I'm not finding stuff that I'm really excited about. You got to start thinking about what it is that you're sharing. You've got to now start showing the world that you want, that you can create solutions for it. That's the difference. So then the content changes again. And now this is actually where you might not even start sharing the work that you're doing currently. And you might have to carve out time to start doing passion projects or projects that you're not getting paid for, which will feel weird. Like
if you're turning down work and doing passion projects,
Yeah.
like that's. I mean, there's a few, like there's still a few industries that I've not worked in that I really, really want to.
What are they?
I want to do a hotel so bad.
Oh yeah, you did say about it.
I
Hotel.
want a hotel. I want to do a restaurant. I want because like it's interesting actually. Like you're very like CPG at the moment.
I am
big into food
Didn't
and bev.
think I was going to do that.
I'm into food and bev, but in like a establishment point of view, like a restaurant or a hotel.
Not product based.
Not
It's still
product-based,
service based food type thing. Yeah.
So that's those kind of industries. I still haven't done a skincare brand. I've done a bunch of like skincare passion projects back in the day. I would like to do something in that space. So I might be doing some passion projects soon.
That's my honest advice. I think, like, how can you expect? Let's say you are listening, like, well, I want to work on, like, I'd love to work on a beer brand. Like, I'd love to do a beer brand. But you've never, ever, ever shown anyone ever in your life that you can work on a beer brand.
Well, like literal case study, like a perfect example. You did is it Bad Luck?
Bad Luck Brewing, yeah.
Right, Bad Luck Brewing, complete. Was that like a complete
passion project? Like,
yeah.
it's not real. I didn't.
And then what happened off the back of that?
I got Dosty.
There you go.
Yeah, which now hopefully is potentially going to be across all of. Fingers crossed. I think they find out in the next couple of weeks. They might be across like over 50 or maybe 100. Maybe I got that wrong. It's a lot of Audis all across the UK. They're going to be on all their shelves. So like I might be able to walk in, to be honest, and be like, I legitimately did the entirety, like from branding to packaging, all that. I literally only got that job because I carved out a couple of days of my life, not being paid for it. Like the whole time you're drawing, going, what am I doing? What am I doing? I'm not getting paid. I'm not getting paid. Why am I spending all this time doing this thing? But I was able to do that, create a case study out of it, show it, and that's what I needed was one person to believe it.
And there you go. And then you use that to market your next beer brand.
Then I get that, and then I got another gig now, not in beer, but like in drinks as well, and doing more of those kind of things. So like, how can you expect anyone to hire you for the thing that you so badly want to do, but you've never shown the world you can do it? And unfortunately, like it's that classic catch-22. Like, how do I get the job without experience? But how do I get the experience without the job? You have to make the experience.
Yeah.
There is no one's going to do it for you.
No.
You might get lucky. You might get lucky, but I doubt you will. So if you're now in that stage 2 looking for the right client, you're going to have to carve out time. It's something I've shared with my design mentees over the last 6 months and made them do it. Hated it. And I said you'd hate it. I told them 6 months beforehand, but I was like, I need you to spend the next couple of weeks on a passion project. Like, let's find something that you're really excited about. Like, who is it that you want to attract? What does that work look like? And I want you to just work on that. And they're like, and I'm like, no buts. It's going to be scary. Like, you're going to have to, it's a little bit of playing chicken with chances. But it's like, if you hold out, create the work, and you'll be truly proud of the work, because you are the client. There's no client bastardizing it, no client kind of manipulating it. You can go as far with it as you want, as creative as you want. The only thing it costs is time. That's the currency.
That's everything. That's all you have when you are at those early stages as well.
You got it,
like
mate.
if you got
money's not a thing. It's not a currency. It's time. Time becomes your currency. So you just got to find the time. And people always say, like, I can't find time. I got this, I got that, and I really appreciate that. Like, I don't have kids, man. Like, I don't have like that must be insane to try and do.
That's a whole nother level.
Because I can't advise on that. I'm not going to try and sit here and be like, just find the time, bro. I'm not going to do that. Like, obviously, it's hard. Like, but it is like that's the cost. Just time.
And especially like as you said, like when we've got no other responsibilities, technically, now's the time to like burn candle at both ends and kind of go a bit mad.
Yeah. So like right now, if I woke up and like I had no leads, no work, nothing, and I had to start this again,
gun it,
bro. I'd just get straight back into making passion, making what do I want to get hired to do. Spend a day doing that, and then spend the next day filming it, and then spend the next day making another one, and I'd just go balls. That's what I would do.
So I suppose that we started recording this, and I didn't have any idea of structure, but I think sometimes we do end up finding the structure along the way, and I think you've already articulated it, with the first stage being the scrappy, any client, anytime, I'm ready. Then the second stage is finding the right type of client. I don't know what the third stage is next. I can't even see that in the roadmap yet. We're not there yet.
Yeah.
So if anyone is, let us know any thoughts that you have once you. I don't know.
My guess is relationships, dude. My guess at that point is got to be relationships. I think I've had a tiny bit of that already, where I have built really great relationships on my clients, and like they will like either come back for more work or they have passed my name on to somebody else. Like that does begin to happen. I just imagine like it gets to a point with a studio, you know, after you've got a body of work over a decade or two of evidence, you're in a lot of people's mouths, surely, at that point. So, like, I'd like to think you needed to find new work.
It's like collaboration.
It's that
last section. Because also, it's not even just word of mouth from clients. It's also, you might have worked with an animator a year ago, and then he's started working on something that he thinks that you'd be great for. And there's a web designer, and, you know, there's people in your network that are on the same side of the fence, not necessarily client side. So I've got like the foundations of a really good network now, which I've like genuinely had to really focus on. That's been intentional work to speak to people, create connections. And the thing is, we've spoken about this. I have no idea how long this episode is, so we need to probably cut it.
We're okay. We're at 40 minutes. We're okay.
Oh, fine, cool. We've spoken about this before, about how we first spoke, and it was, you know, I sent out so many messages like I did to you.
Yeah.
No offense, you weren't that special, but like I spent so many
hard to hear
because I wanted to build I wanted to have friends in the space, and I didn't have any design qualification. Didn't go to uni for it, so I was trying to make these connections.
And now I'm in your studio, mate.
And now here we are 4 years later. But there were so many that just didn't reply nicely or like whatever.
Yeah.
And so it takes intentional work, and you can't be knocked down. But like now I've got like a few animators I speak to, a couple of web designers. Like it's the foundation of like I've got this kind of network. It is so cool. So that takes work too. But yeah, as I said, we don't know where the next stage is or when it happens. No. But I mean, I think it's probably we've also had a few people say like, why don't we start a studio together? That's not ruled out.
It's not ruled out, but it's a whole other grade. I think people have this like really romantic idea of that. It's like, well, you both like do this, like put two together and you'll get four. I don't think it works like that.
Also, don't really want to like stress test our friendship.
Yeah, already doing this is pretty stressful.
Yeah,
but like I think what worries me then, like it's already hard enough keeping enough food on the table for myself. Like I have that pressure of my own, like my own studio, finding work to fill my boots with, to pay my bills with. If I'm now working with Jack, like I'm inherently, because I actually really like him, believe it or not, I think he's a great guy. I would then have pressure of like, I need to make sure Jack's mortgage pays too. Like I'm just going to be conscious of that now. Not only am I trying to make sure there's money in my account, I'm going to be like, what are we going to do to also pay Jack and also pay me? Yeah. Now that's double the money we need, and now double the bills that come out of that. And like, so that's just like a lot of stress. Like, it's just not my dream to have this big agency.
We might change our minds, but right now,
but I'm a baby still, dude. I'm not even married or have kids yet. Like I feel like I need some like more adult life responsibilities before I'm like, let's now build this mega
Maybe
business.
It's like the midlife crisis where you eventually like buy a convertible, and instead of buying a convertible, you start a studio.
Yeah,
because you need more like excitement in your life.
Hold us to that in 10 years' time. Maybe that will happen then.
Imagine if this podcast is still going then. That would be wild.
That'd be Wouldn't need a studio then. I don't reckon we'd just be doing this.
Old men full-time podcasters.
Just talking about design, creative stuff.
Well, I think we've rounded out that section quite well.
Oh yeah, I'm happy with that.
Hopefully there's some actionable takeaways for people at different stages. If you're ahead of us, let us know what we're supposed to be doing.
Please.
But we don't have ident time is good now.
Another ident.
Because as we said earlier, this is the start of our week. We haven't got any wins and fails from this week yet, so we're gonna have to flex with the format. I think the whole point of sticky notes is that it is like, you know, rough and ready, a bit raw, and we're gonna make mistakes. But we've got two sections. We're gonna still do the question of the week. We've got a question. But then before that, we want to do a little section. Whilst we don't have wins and fails, is to platform hopefully some people that we are really vibing with, some designers, some creatives. So, do you have anyone in mind?
Yeah, do you want me to go?
Yeah, you go first.
I'll go first.
Someone that I would love to talk about. quicker. We can't have dead air time. You've got to be quick.
Yeah, I've lost it.
Okay,
now.
shall I go then?
You go.
Okay. So there's this account called Not Blank Designs, and I'm not sure what her actual name is,
Yeah.
but she is so sick, and I think she might even be a student. I'm not sure because she won the At Design Kids Award winner in 2025, and her work is so sick. Like it's featured a lot on mood boards that I've pulled together. One client in particular, there's a couple pieces of hers on there. It's so like human. It's so like it's this beautiful balance between like proper human made and premium or like elevated and curated. It's just so beautiful. It's fun as that. It's that my perfect taste.
Yeah.
Right in between those worlds where you can tell like maybe it's a bit like raw and rough in certain areas, but the composition of it feels very elevated and refined. And it's like, there's a particular project that is where I found her from. And I think it was a concept brand, which is kind of funny actually, going back to what we were speaking about. And I think it was called Bare Earth or something like that. And it was a skincare brand or certainly some sort of self-hygiene brand.
Mhm.
And it was so like earthy and rich. And I think there's this beautiful handmade word mark. The way that she presented it with all the colors, the type, the imagery, the animation in it, it was just so well done. And as soon as I saw it, I followed her, saw the rest of her work, sent her a message just saying how cool she was.
Yeah.
And we've got like this little like, I don't even call it a friendship, but like we have an acquaintance now.
Yeah.
And she's so sick. So I really look forward to seeing where she goes. She's an inspiration to me. And I think she's going to go miles. So I'm looking forward to.
Please share that
seeing it.
with me as well. Please let me.
Yeah.
That sounds right up my street.
We'll put something.
I was gonna say, we'll put their
pop tags at least. They're actual like where to
something
find
come up and you can go and find them and take a look at their work.
Yeah.
Mine is a wonderful girl called Lara Bon. So she actually
love Lara.
She reached out to me a little while ago with just a really sweet, kind message. So I took a look at her work and now I'm obsessed with it.
So good at type, right?
So that's what she reached out to me. She was like, well, she was watching one of my vlogs and was like, you said you were struggling with some type. You ever need someone when it comes to type? I was like, yeah, absolutely, because I'm not great at type. It's a whole other game now. I'm a marks boy. I'm not so much of a type guy. I really try to be. Like,
you are
when some people are just let them cook.
There are levels to this.
She's unreal. But she's also kick-ass at marks, and that's actually why I really love her work at the minute. So she did this wonderful piece. I can't actually pronounce it. I'm going to try it. I think it's Finca Sophia was the brand that she did this work for. But it's this beautiful bird. And the reason I absolutely enjoy it and love it is I'm working on a project right now for a chicken shop. And I'm in the weeds of bird imagery and bird logos. I loved what she did for it.
Can you flash
absolutely.
It to me,
she did all these like wonderful.
Yes, I
little,
saw this.
You see this?
Yeah.
So juicy, man.
Again, that's so my taste.
Yeah, so like that's become my taste. I think our taste has evolved quite a lot over the last few years, man. I thought I was going to be like ride or die and like mascot design and stuff like that, but I actually now completely
you had
hate
your
it.
Pipe cleaner mascot. What's it called?
Rubber hose.
Rubber hose. Why?
Rubber
Pipe
hose,
cleaner?
man. Pipe cleaner is definitely not the right term at all.
Arts and
No,
crafts.
rubber hose is like 1910s, like cartoon style. Like I really liked it, but it did get obliterated to death.
Yeah,
it become a trend, which sucked. I remember like absorbing that years and years and years. Like I love like the old school Disney sort of stuff and all like the original animation sort of stuff. So that's why I always fell in love with it. I really loved what there's another plug from somebody else, which is The Dudes, which is like a German fashion house type thing. And a French artist called Macbeth or Macbeth. I never know how to pronounce it. Someone's going to have a go at me for that. Incredible illustration, beautiful work. And they do that rubber hose style so differently, so tastefully. I always loved that. Always inspired by it. Then it just became a trend in the world. So
you were really good at it.
I lost the love of that. Found other love, but like what Lara's doing there, and obviously the sounds of it.
Yeah.
What your inspo was kind of like that taste has become my taste now massively. Finding that way of creating something genuine, human, and handmade right now, like oh god, and I just scroll through a work. Yeah. So if anyone's making that in a minute, I'll probably end up just completely drooling over your work, and then you'll end up in this random little segment that we've built here.
I like this segment. I think we just like sprinkle it in every now and then.
Yeah, just whenever really we feel like it's appropriate. I think shouting out some people that we think are just doing really wonderful, amazing stuff.
I've got such a long list.
I have a notes section on my Mac called Instagrams. Yeah, and it is huge. Dude, it's disgusting.
Sometimes though, this is the problem with it. So I've got it all split out by like studios. So it's a team
Yeah.
of people. I've got individuals. I've got like certain styles. That will sometimes when I'm like, I don't know, working on some creative direction for something or just trying to find a specific thing, I'm like, oof, there's actually like, I've got like thousands. Like
Now I
this,
really
trying to go
can't
through
remember.
it is a new job. But yeah, so every now and again we'll sprinkle those in. They're really nice.
Sure, man.
Yeah.
Right. Lovely. Cool. Final one then. Final section.
one. Question of the week.
Question.
Let me
You got that
read
one?
this out. So from at Putulyle, Putulyle on YouTube. So I'm almost a 45-year-old designer and I still feel the skill gap. This was the last podcast that I think went out. Well, no, as of
No.
oh god, it's all in a different order now.
We have no idea
We
what
did
we're
a
doing.
podcast about the skill gap, and I was being very whingy in it. I also feel the skill gap to designers like you who aren't even 30 yet. I am now 30. So now I'm old. Let's give grace to ourselves, hey? Yes, absolutely. My question is, knowing that we're living in the gap for the rest of our professional lives, which I think was the kind of eventual conclusion that we got to, is like, it's just kind of a feature of life
This
rather
seems
than a
to
bug.
be the problem with everything we keep saying.
never
isn't
get
it?
to a
We don't actually have an answer.
How long do you think you want to work in design until you retire? Retire at 50? Retire at 75? What is your aging designer plan? That's such an interesting question.
It's not one I
Never
think
even
I've
thought about.
particularly thought of for very long.
I thought I'd be dying whilst designing my last logo, to be honest.
Yeah, I think there's a part of me that like romantically thinks that would be a lovely thing to do. I actually don't know if it's possible. I think I'll always design, and that's very loose, up until my last breaths on this planet. But I don't know about being like a designer or studio owner. Like I think I would like to obviously like retire at some point. Like I don't actually want to have
Retire.
to. I don't want to actually have to like. I have to work until I die. I don't want to be in that
Yeah,
state. You know,
yeah.
I would like to have built something that like I can go off and be an old man for a bit and be with my love, the love of my life and my kids and experience that. But like, I'll never not be creating something. Like that just does not exist. I cannot see that where it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Like I think this is the difference maybe between really quickly going to venture off for just a second.
Okay.
Speaking to someone about AI and like when creatives promote AI and when creatives aren't promoting AI as like a generative tool type situation, two different bags. People that produce the generative stuff and like designers and creatives are like, no, generative stuff's fine. It's really great. The difference between us and them maybe just purely like, this is a real passion. This isn't a job.
Yeah,
Like,
if
this
money
isn't
wasn't a
job.
thing, I'd still be doing this.
That's the difference. I do this for no money. I did do it for no money. So I'll continue to keep
Do you know
doing
what
it.
I found? Again, like let's add another tangent to that. Is that design used to be my hobby, and now I don't have any hobbies.
Yeah,
Because
that's
it's all
true.
I would do in my free time because I love it so much, and now it's my job. Well,
Yeah.
I still do it all the time, but now I don't have a hobby.
That's the difference.
Something
isn't
I
it?
need to do next year is find a hobby.
Yeah. So yeah, basically never. We're never going to retire ever.
No, I can't. Well, it's so far away. We've got many decades left.
I've got so much to do.
I can't. It's quite exciting actually, thinking like, what will we be capable of? If we still have this same passion to get better every day, what will we be doing in like 4 years? I don't know. Exciting.
That is exciting. That's enough of an excitement to keep going, right? Like that's when I
think
don't
so.
want to do it anymore. I go, oh, what if? What happened? I think that curiosity always stays.
Yeah.
I'm a very curious person. So yeah, that was a really good question.
It's really interesting. I've never really thought about
Not
it.
I thought about it, but now I'm going to think about it.
Yeah.
So, there
Well,
you go.
thank you very much for your question. I guess that's it for this week's episode.
Great episode. Loved it.
How do we usually sign these off?
So funny how we must have done.
Let's Get Sticky,
nearly
isn't it?
10
Is that-
definitely
is
not.
that-
Let's Get Sticky. I've got to stop Jack from doing that. Well, first, if you have a question, please do leave it in the comments.
Yes.
If you listen to us on Spotify or on YouTube, if you're audio only or not audio only, we don't care. Give us your questions. We want to help wherever we can, or give some advice, or maybe it could be just a question like that, which is a bit curious. It's like a kind of a curious
Interesting
thought.
shout, yeah.
So yeah, please do share your questions with us.
Where
That'd be
can they
fantastic.
find you?
cj.cooley.design. Getting better at saying that now.
That
Yeah, you
sounds
can
good.
find that across everything: Instagram, YouTube. I don't even care about TikTok. Don't find me on TikTok. Just it's
Still got a humongous platform on TikTok. Doesn't even care about it. Give it away. Sell it. Auction it. Give it to me.
no. That's still mine. I'd rather keep it than give it to you. Jack, where can I find you?
CHITTCO anywhere you watch anything.
Boom. Right. Thank you very much, guys.
Thanks,
See you in the
guys.
next one.
See you later.
Peace.